Hello folks, welcome to Lexi IAS Academy. In this video, we will be discussing a current affair topic. This video is presented to you by your faculty, Sushma KP. So what is the topic that we will be discussing today? Trump's tariff may end up blowing up the US dollar hegemony. What exactly do we mean by this, and what exactly is Trump doing to threaten the US dollar itself? In this video, we will be looking into why is it in use, what is the relevance of it, that is your GS paper too. We will also be seeing what are the tariffs that US is imposing and what are the impacts of that. Look at this. Some of the US president's most daring policies to make America great again may inflict irreparable harm to the US economy. What exactly is that? We will be seeing in the course of the video. Before that, we have an announcement from Lexi IAS Academy, that is, for anyone appearing for 2025 prelims, we have created a dedicated course only for your prelims perspective of current affair compilation. If anyone wants to learn about your mains answer writing, content development for your mains, we have launched Impact 2025. The link for both of these is present in the description box below. Do check that out. Now, coming back to the topic, just listen to it like a story itself. After Trump came into power, see, the first term after your Barack Obama, Donald Trump comes into the picture. That was his first term. After that, Joe Biden comes into the picture as the US president. Now, again, Donald Trump has made a comeback as the US president for the second term. In the first term, also, your Donald Trump was focused on very much of protectionist tendencies. That is, to make America great again, bring employment back to America, and make sure that America will be the one that dominates. And it will also be, to an extent, even in the first term of Donald Trump, we see a lot of trade wars, tariff war was going on between your USA and China. So this concept of tariffs is not something new to his second term. But to the extent that he is going in the second term is what has raised concerns. For example, see, in his first term, we can see, yes, he was portraying and outright telling that China is the one that is hurting America's interests, etc. But this time, he is going for all and out for his allies, historic allies, economic allies, the greatest proponents, supporters of US. Even they are not left away. So, what and why exactly is Donald Trump trying to do this? Means in simple, he is trying to secure the protectionist tendency of America, bring back the manufacturing base sector jobs to the American people, so it will increase among his fan base, his voter base. Why again we are telling that is he has claimed in his manifesto that he is going to make America great again. That is his mega campaign. That is, bring back the work back to USA, bring back the work back to your US people, reduce the unemployment rates. Now, to do this, and this is true, many US presidents try to do this. But alongside this, what your US President Donald Trump is also trying to do is he's trying to reorder the international monetary system itself. Okay, this is something that he is trying to do. Now the issue is, if he succeeds it's fine, but if it backfires in the long term, it can affect the US dollar itself, and that in turn will affect everyone else. How and why is the course of the video. You see the trade wars that he's having, tariff wars with your Canada, where every odd now almost it's been just a couple of weeks that he has been in office. There's already second round of tariff imposition. In the first round, tariffs were imposed on Canada, Mexico, China. Now, in the second round of tariff imposition on Canada, it has been on your steel and aluminium products. So the second round of tariffs has also started. Alongside this, the countries are also retaliating the tariffs back. For example, your Canada has rejected 13 billion deal with USA. They have taken off all US products from their shelves. Experts are claiming this is hurting the US economy more. More specifically, it is the liquor, fruits, everything is taken off from the shelf of your Canada supermarkets. Now, his plans, such as with respect to China, China is in no mood for compensation, sitting, having negotiation. It is equally out and out going for retaliatory measures. How much US is trying to do, China is also trying to counter it. And your China is again now diplomatically also changing its turns. For example, recently our Chinese foreign minister Wang Yi has held that the elephant and dragon should dance together, meaning China and India should have closer ties in order to counter US state tariffs. So China is opening up avenues with other members of its region to counter USA. That is, for example, Russia. Russia initially, from the very Cold War period, we know that it is wanting to weaken NATO. But now, if you see, weakening NATO is on its second priority list. The first priority is weakening the dollar, corroding the dollar. Why? Because if you hit that, then NATO automatically falls. Yes or no? So what Russia is trying to do, it is trying to move towards, it is trying to revamp, it is trying to regroup and strengthen towards China. So this is one side with China. Another side with Mexico. So one common thing, your US president in the very first term, he told us he was going to build a great wall. And now he has even went ahead to call your Gulf of Mexico as Gulf of America. He has gone ahead with deportation. Mass deportation is carried on. Now, all the illegal immigrants, he has claimed that all the fentanyl, etc., which is causing more than death of 75,000 US people, all of this is because of the illegal immigrants who are taking up the jobs of American people, so they have to be deported. Now, when sending back the deportees to Colombia, he threatened them, if you do not take back these people, you will be put with economic sanctions, you will be put with financial sanctions, you will be put with military sanctions. So you threaten a country to do what you want. That is what US is trying to do. This strategy initially it was used. Your economic sanctions, military sanctions, financial sanctions, this kind of strategy was adopted for your rogue nations like your North Korea. But now he is using that irrespective of you are my closest ally, you are my neighbor, no matter. You do what I do, or I will use this. And his plans of looking at Gaza Strip issue, the way he has proclaimed that he will solve it is US will take over Gaza Strip. So this has again escalated tensions in the Middle East. And his plans of taking over Greenland, and his plans of taking over Canada, and that Canada should join USA as the 51st state. So these things have created a situation where it is no longer just about tariffs. He wants to create an order, restructure the order, that if and anywhere his feeling is that, now for example, misspokenly, when asked about NATO spending in Spain, he misspelled it as a BRICS member. Understanding? So that is the way it is pursued. If you are against American interest, then it is not that you are my ally, you are my enemy. Both of you will be treated the same way. Now look at this. USA recently, on with regard to your Russia-Ukraine war, has been more on trying to be more specifically, if we have to use this word, is it is trying to be on the side of Russia. That is, it's more on the negotiation side with Russia rather than Ukraine. So much so that for solving the Russia-Ukraine conflict, USA said that Ukraine is not even needed on the table. Then your EU is strongly supporting Ukraine, but Russia is again on the pro stance of your USA. It is telling we are ready to come to the negotiation table for with USA. So these US stance on taking side towards your Russia. At the same point of time, it's strict. And look at this, the economy. Now, when we say economic restructuring under your Trump, the economic restructuring is happening at a cost of changing your historical allies. It is about hurting. It doesn't matter if you're my historic ally, you're my economic ally, you are my closest ally. It doesn't matter. You will be hit with tariffs if it is not aligning with USA's interest. So the concept of being USA's enemy is bad means being USA's friend is worse. This term is now being very much largely applicable on your international relations, especially when they are telling that floating mega campaigns, more of going towards your protectionism. Your USA has been telling that yes, the manufacturing sector, one way it is trying to hit out all the countries, be it allies or anyone, is telling that it will bring back the manufacturing jobs, that is manufacturing sector, back to USA. But one thing is, with regard to your manufacturing sector, the cost is very higher in USA even compared to Europe, let alone Asia. For this, what your US President Donald Trump is thinking is to reduce your US dollar value. But one main thing here, your US president and your entire thematic about US being powerful and not being a drag on the economy is on this very important concept: centrality of the dollar. For example, your BRICS were just discussing about moving away from dollar or de-dollarization. This alarmed USA to an extent that he told that he will threaten with 100% tariffs if anyone tries to move away from dollar. But at the same point of time, if he wants to bring the manufacturing sector, he knows it is very costly. US is very pricier in the manufacturing sector, that is the workers, employees, wages, etc., compared to Europe, compared to your Asia. So what he wants to do, he wants to reduce the value of the dollar, but at the same point of time, keep everything centered around the dollar itself. So if it increases also, your dollar will be strengthened. If it decreases also, everything will be on par with the dollar. He's trying to do the twin objective: keep the dollar as the central currency, and second thing is bring the jobs back home, which means reduce the price of the dollar, bring the manufacturing sector back home, like he promised in his mega campaigns. What is it? Bring the jobs back, reduce the unemployment rates. He's trying to level play the fields with your Europe and Asia. He is trying to do that with respect to the manufacturing sector. This is a very risky game. In trying to do this is where his political policies, fiscal policies, economic policies, everything is having a change. Look at this. Stronger dollar would weaken inflation. Again, either way you go about the dollar, understanding everything has a benefit for USA is because everything is centered around the dollar. What do I mean by this? Look at this. Your Bank of England, your European Central Bank, everyone has gone for again significant rate cut. Whereas your US Federal Reserve has stopped with the rate cut. Why the other banks, your Bank of England or European Central Bank, is still continuing with the rate cut? Because they are feared over your trade tariffs, and also you have to induce growth at the cost of your inflation. So they have to balance out both of these. Understanding. Amidst this, they are rate cutting, whereas your US is not doing that. They have stopped or halted even the rate cuts. If you see the international monetary fiscal mechanism, the way it is your SDRs, see the majority is dollar only. No matter how much which country, where, what it tries to do, the central demand for dollar doesn't decrease. This is how they are trying to make sure that despite any deficit, it is not becoming a drag on the economy. Why? Because they're using this as their bargaining chip. They are not letting dollar out of its centrality. One move taken by BRICS to even assume to go outside dollar, and he has threatened them with 100% tariffs. And look at this. This is the exorbitant privilege that the US has. What is it? Global demand for US currency. And this is the reason why it doesn't drag on their economy. Look at this. BRICS woes won't stop de dollarization. Donald Trump's 100% tariff warning. Donald Trump declares BRICS is dead, claims 100% tariff. Look at this. Go find another sucker nation. Trump wants BRICS against dollar move. Now, do you see when I say dollar is kept as the centrality here? So, what is he trying to do when I tell that he is okay with trying to reduce your dollar value but keep it as a central figure, that is, central element, your dollar, everything should be surrounding it. This is not a new move. It was already done in your Reagan administration under your Plaza Accords and Lure Accords. Meaning what? They tried to balance their economy. They felt that at that point of time, 1980s period of time, your Japanese yen, understanding your Japanese yen being a lower value was affecting your US. So they negotiated with them to increase the value so as to balance off your US dollar. But back then it was your Japan. Today the position held by what Japan held was China. That point of time Japan was your closest ally of USA, and even today Japan is the closest ally of USA. But China is not the ally of USA, nor is China wanting to go to any negotiations with USA, nor will it make sure that it will increase its value of currency so as to make sure your dollar can have a breakthrough. Understanding? So your Plaza Accords and Lure Accords was done so as to balance and maintain your US dollar. But whereas now the same thing cannot be achieved. That is what your experts have claimed in present terms as Mar-a-Lago Accord. Okay. Now look at this. What once Japan was, now China is not in that pace. That was the closest ally, and that is still the closest ally. This is not. That went for negotiation. This is not going to go for negotiations. Okay. Like I told you, treasury, banking, financial sanctions, again, any possible country that it finds. Now it is no longer about your my ally, you are my historic ally, you are my neighbor, no such thing. Protectionist tendency of US as alongside reorder the international financial system. Now, your countries, like I mentioned, Russia, eroding the US dollar system has become the priority number one than weakening NATO. Why? Because if you do that, this automatically happens. So that is why your Russia is trying to realign with your China. One more thing about these countries of your BRICS countries you have to learn is BRICS countries, European countries, and your American market. Let's think of it in a three manner. This is a very important thing you have to know. More of, I'll put it as BRICS. Now these countries, they have huge amount of capital gains, they have huge amount of capital, wherein in all of the international markets, if you see, the borrowings are usually from these guys. These guys are the ones who are having enough capital to invest in them, which means earn the interest of this. Again, they're earning in dollar, everything centrality is around the dollar. That is why this guy is not reducing, this guy hegemon is not reducing. US dollar hegemon, that is the heading of this video, is not reducing because despite this, the centrality, the demand for dollar has not weakened. One thing you have to see is these countries are earning more, these countries are usually maintaining trade surplus, they are having enough to invest in these countries. These are by borrowing from international institutions. Now these countries are the one who are ready to invest in it. Now if you look at this, China is the number one holder of US treasuries. Now you know how US and China's are rivalries, but US is the number one holder of US treasuries. Means what? That much amount of money is lent by China, that much amount of money is borrowed by USA for your international monetary financial system borrowings. This is how the power of your BRICS is, this is how the power of your other countries are increasing. This is where your Trump wants to put a checker to. Understanding? So let's say his grand plan in trying to utilize the power, they keep the hegemon of US dollar and try to negotiate the position that US is right now in all possible facets. Now for example, when I said in Colombia case, you have to take on the deportees or I will put in these sanctions, it is using it for everyone, allies, enemies, all together put. So how long he will be successful in this plan is doubtful. Even if he's successful, let's say he's successful, then there will be a boost from the manufacturing sector. Now right now it is 10.2% of its GDP. But in the long term, let's say if it backfires, then that would lead to escalated inflation and a bad recession. What will be the outcome? We have to wait and watch. Understanding? This is the end of the video. If you like our content, subscribe to our channel, hit the like button and share it along with your friends. Thank you.